What to get rid of all this mess and also these mosquitoes? I know, power wash and screen tie. Let's get it. So I'll be using 2x4s to do the base. So before I do any cleaning up, I'm just gonna ensure that I get my measurements. I don't want to do any extensive sanding, so I'm gonna measure the 2x4s first. Then I sand them, then I paint them, and then I do the install. Over here, we will have the door that I'll be using. So I'll be keen to pay attention to the widths and the height, so I could make accommodations for those. So right now I was just taking my measurements and doing the base so I could get the foundation for the screen. Normally you could draft this up on paper so it could go much faster than you thinking on the spot. So I finally finished cutting up the boards. This took most of my time. Had to do a lot of brain work, ensure I didn't make the gap, the spaces too wide, so that whenever I'm putting up the screen, could do it stiffly. So I ensure that I mark them on the bottoms. So after I prime and paint them, so this is just the main bottom, and all of them have something like that, because I will be priming with this, and then I will do a little painting afterwards, just to ensure that whenever I set up everything, I do not have to paint it again, which will make it more difficult. Look at my workers right here. You give a lot of trouble, baby. My other worker here, look how they do the backyard. They did all of this. Come on. Have to love them. So right here I was just trying to give the 2x4 some color, but I'm gonna get a rude awakening. Oh boy. That primer went out faster than I thought. This painting is taking too long. So I ain't gonna prime it. It's not like it's in the main part of the house. I'm just gonna paint it with the white paint that I have, as I'm putting too much effort into this. But hopefully the painting goes better than how the priming went. So it's a good idea to paint the 2x4s ahead of time, as after you set up the screen, you do not want to be trying to paint a lot of the 2x4s then, as you run the risk of messing up the screen and having paint get on it. So that is the main reason behind it. So these right here definitely took the longest to do. I thought measurement would be the longest, but because I was painting with a brush instead of a roller, it took me like 5 hours. But no, I'll move on to cleaning the patio. I will definitely using this new device that I got, the Sunjo Power Wash. It's been doing good so far. So let us get cleaned up, and then we could start setting up everything else. So it was my first time using a power wash, and it was a very good experience. The results really surprised me. So the power wash really did a good job. It's looking fairly clean, much better than how it looked before. If I put some soap and concentration, maybe it could have been a little bit better, but this is very good for what it was before. It's a brand new day. I have my tools here. Also have my little munchkin. Mama, say hello.
Hello.
Papa, why did you go on the dirt? Didn't I tell you that I cleaned the patio already? You can't go out there. So I'm gonna set up the baseboards. Should have everything all measured. This gentleman right here is gonna be my second person to hold it up so I can put up the top pieces. I have my drill bits, as I mentioned before, put for concrete and everything. I have multiple drills, so hopefully this process can go actually faster and my little kids don't be much of a headache or hindrance. So on to the toughest task that I faced during this job. The main reason for this was I bought too long of screws to attach the 2x4s to the concrete. So if it was maybe an inch and a half shorter, everything would have gone easily. So the drill bit that I had wasn't long enough at first, but then I got the right drill bit, but the concrete was so tough. I'm not sure if it was the power of the drill being too low. Even working by myself make it even worse, as I had to find creative ways to brace some of the boards so I could get it up. But slowly but surely I was getting it done. Gotta use a lot of drill bits. I had to even go back to the store to get extras because they really do get hot, and when they do, it cuts slower, which means you have to use more force to get it done. So I finally finished putting up the baseboards. Has been a struggle. Every time I think I've done the hardest part of the job, something seems to come up that is much harder. So if that trend continues, then maybe putting on the caps to put on the screen are gonna be even more difficult. I'm gonna have to do some touch-up painting after I'm finished, and I also have the door to put up, so hopefully I can get those done today, because this has been going on for like 3 days already. So this part of the job wasn't so challenging, just to ensure that you have the correct tools, which I will go over at the end of the video. I know that's very unorthodox, but most of the tools that I use, I didn't know that I need them at first. Ensure to use as many screws as possible, so whenever the screen goes on and tension is applied, it stays level. So I'm finally finished putting up the caps, or the base caps, whatever they want to call them. Seems as if it's coming on good right now. Look at my little daughter mimicking me. But yes, tomorrow I'll either put up the door and do some touch-up paint before I put on the screen. Not sure I will get to do it the screening tomorrow, but we'll see. And over the side here, looking wonderful as well. This part of the job went the smoothest. Everything else had its issues. Boy, get down off the ladder, Papa. So we'll see it goes tomorrow. One thing to note, all these little base caps, any mismeasurement that you have are little extra gaps. Whenever you're putting up these will definitely cover those blemishes. So if you're doing it, you don't have to worry about that. So everything in the job was just running smoothly right now. The door didn't give much of a trouble or was that hard to figure out. It was a sliding door, and I think it's perfect, so we don't have to worry about any hinges or anything. The screen that is already there just slides into a little holder, so it's perfect. The job is really coming along nicely. Just look at that screen door. First job done for the day. Now we're gonna have to see if we can put up the main screens. Hopefully it goes smoothly as how this door went. Had to do a little research and read the instructions, but got it done well. A little tweak, because some of these screws didn't want to go down into the concrete. So right here I had to makeshift some of my own little things. I had a little poke up here, but that's the least of my concerns. So whenever you're buying the screen, just buy a lot so that you don't have to be stingy when cutting out the divisions. I was going from right to left as I found it easier to apply tension that way. So I did the upright and across, and then I did the bottom and then the final upright. So that was the process that I was following, and it went pretty well. So another day trying to get the job completed. But all the screens have been put up now. Went well. I even finished it in the night after I came from my work. Did some touch-up paint as well. So everything is looking good as new. All this was done in the night. as I wanted it to dry so I can put on the caps and just ensure I just give this one last little clean up the patio, and then we should be done. So let me just go and put on these caps right now. They should be white. So and then we can look at the final look. So when putting on the protective caps, this is when you have to ensure that you had put a lot of screws into the screen holders, because as the tension is there and you're trying to put those caps on top, if it's not straight enough, it would be difficult to hit it down into the groove, and you might need to put more screws in to get it more level. So the patio is finally finished, and this is how it's looking. Really nice, very neat, very proud of myself. Took a lot of work, but I got it done. The side is also neatly done as well. That's what preparation does. Inside also looking really good as well. The little touch-up paint that I did last night did wonders. The doors and everything fit perfectly. As I mentioned before, preparation is the key when doing these projects. The job came out wonderful. So normally with videos like these, they normally talk about the tools that they are going to use at the beginning, but this was a little bit different for me, as some of the tools I wanted or needed, I had to get them while I was doing the project, as some of them I didn't know that they didn't provide it in whatever I was buying. So for instance, with the backing plate for these items, it didn't come with the spline that needed to spline it into the 2x4s, so I had to buy those. It didn't come with the cutter and the roller that you need as well, and also this little tool. They recommend a snipping tool, but I watched a video and they said it's best to use like a utility knife with a sharp blade right here. So that was very instrumental with what I needed to do. Also my little saw right here, that's what I used to cut all the 2x4s, so that was really good. These screws, I use them to secure the backing. So at first I thought it was a lot of screws, 100 or 320, but they really used up very quickly, and I'm glad that I did buy this amount. It does come with the fitting that you need for the drill, so that was also good. You really need to use these to secure the backing, because if it's not secured properly, then this piece right here is not gonna go in easily. Also, these screws that I use to secure the 2x4s, I think I bought them a little bit too long, as that's why I had to get an extremely long drill bit, which was giving me a lot of effort and troubles. I think that took up most of the time to do this project. And as always, it's good to have 2 drills so that you don't have to be switching between drills. And you can see the size of the drill bit that I used. But I also noticed that it's good to have a lot of spares, as you drill and keep on drilling, these are gonna get dull, and sometimes it seems as if it's not gonna go. So definitely need more on one of these drills bit. So these hammer as well, you need it to knock in the covers once you're done. But overall, these are most of the tools that you'll be needing. And also this was very helpful, being that I'm only working by myself, so I definitely needed that to hold some of the items that I'm working with. So that was really a good help for me. So I also had these screws that I used to secure the 2x4s to themselves. So after I put on the base to the concrete, whatever uprights or crossboards, I used these. I could have used nails if I had as well, but I didn't want to do too much driving, so I used the drill, which would be much faster to me. And last but not least, I also had leather. This is very crucial. You need this to get those higher places, especially when you're working by yourselves. You're gonna have to be creative to secure the other parts when you're trying to nail or knock in any other sides, but definitely you need a ladder. So that is it for the video today. Hopefully you guys like something from it or learn something from it, just in case you would like to do the same for your porch or patio. I would try my best to put links in the description if anyone needs to buy any of the items. But that it is for me today. Another project done. Really proud of myself. And if you like the video, just like, share, comment and subscribe if you haven't. Alright, stay safe and continue doing great things. Bless.